Hello and welcome to another adventure within the agency. I think this is your fourth
Yeah, that's about right.
adventure at this stage.
We
At least
had
the fourth
the
No,
chapter.
fifth. Well, no,
Fifth.
fourth if the cube is not within the regular timeline.
Yeah, it gets a bit timey-wimey. I imagine for prosperity's sake it will actually occur just after this adventure, but here we are. Um, Three of you are returning back from the United States. The journey is uneventful. However, when you arrive at Heathrow, there is a member of the agency waiting for you, along with a somewhat nervous-looking chappie who seems to be eating quite a lot of jam sandwiches.
Toast,
Um,
actually.
Apologies. Jam on toast.
I really want some
Apologies.
toast.
So the man from the agency will introduce the three of you to the nervous-looking chappie as Chip, who is who's been a member of their organisation but is in dire need of field training and wishes to pair you up with him.
At the mention of field training, a a look of dread just briefly passes over his face, and he just scoffs more toast. I think strawberry jam today.
We've been over this. It needs to occur to develop your career with us. If you stick with these three individuals, I'm sure you'll do fine. It's actually quite convenient that you've landed directly in Heathrow, as we have an oddity. An aircraft has just landed. That itself is obviously not unusual. However, the aircraft is a Comet 4 and identifies itself as BA Flight 914. There's only one problem with that, in that it disappeared in 1959. So,
Are we supposed to be able to see anything on the screen, Mike?
yes. Has it? Hold on one moment. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. Cool, perfect. So we've not disembarked the passengers or crew. This feels like it's more our areas than the local authorities, so we've been given first opportunity to go aboard. We kind of want you to find out what's happened, why it's suddenly returned now, what's happened in the meantime. I can tell you from a technical point of view that the aircraft that's landed is indeed a Comet 4. It was using the same call sign that it did several decades ago. It's got all the older traditional BA flight markings, and the pilot is identifying himself as the original pilot of that flight, a Mark Fenton. I've got you a couple of documents that I think you might find useful.
Rune is already looking up spec sheets and like the way this thing is structured. There's a computer anywhere near this thing. There's never been a computer anywhere near this thing.
No.
Chip has got his smartphone out, and you can quick. You hear just before he turns off the speaker someone going, "Fenton, Jesus Christ!" Wrong Fenton.
So, from your riddle, from your very brief internet search, the Comet 4 was an aircraft that was originally used by BA back in 1959. and the look of the aircraft matches what the Comet 4 looks like now. It was a predecessor to the, I think it's the Airbus as opposed to the Boeing, but yeah, it's the predecessor to the future jumbo jets. It is an
It's a large-scale
relatively
passenger
early-
liner.
Yes, precisely. I've also just shared with you a what the Comet 4 seating plan looks like within the journals, and there should also be a crew manifest as well. That was originally going to be a handout, so I will also put within the chat momentarily the Excel version of it as well.
Yeah, I can see the PDF version in the
Cool, perfect.
thingy here.
Let me just check that I'm sharing the right one with you. Yeah, nope, that's not the right one. Yes, that is. Okay, cool. Is there anything else that you would like to ask of me or the?
It's on the passenger head count.
Uh,
Is there the same number of people on the plane now as there was in 1959?
we don't know. We've not gone aboard yet.
Right.
You will be the first people aboard. I can tell you that there are.
Got
There
any
were
news reports from when it originally disappeared?
So originally there were 63 souls on board.
And 64 people.
It disappeared from radar contact and radio communication very abruptly.
The original investigation, what was the finding?
Inconclusive. It was
it
unknown what happened to it or where it went.
Where did it disappear? Like last known location.
So it was on its way to London Heathrow, originally from New York, and it disappeared somewhere over the ocean.
Does that sound like the same direction? Would the bearing have been correct for the anomaly that we discovered on the Dauntless?
Oh. It would.
I'll look to Riddle and Simon and just sort of.
I mean, maybe, but it's a little. What?
It doesn't strike me as that thing's MO.
It's a very strange one, that one, if it is.
Not necessarily those things, but yeah.
Yeah, so hi, nice to meet you. I'm Chip, and I've listened to some of the recordings and transcripts and data from some of your previous missions.
Well, welcome. I hope you last longer than the last guy who was named C.
Yeah, I've heard of that guy. Sounds like an absolute knob.
He really... Well, he didn't start out that way, but it got there eventually.
No, I think he was like that all along.
Maybe.
Just he got the extra injection of juju.
That's true.
Which mission was your favourite?
I mean, it's so hard to choose a favourite when they all are kind of terrifying.
Stop fucking bullshitting. Oh, terrifying. Oh, actually, no. Ignore me then. Sorry, tired. I didn't sleep on the plane. I just watched Olympus Has Fallen 4 times.
It did. It was really strange. After the first
Didn't you
time,
watch
I
that
was
on the way out there?
Yeah, best movie all the time.
Okay.
Gee, yeah, that butler fucking shit off for 96 minutes.
Wasn't there a sequel?
Probably.
There were 2 sequels actually, but.
And you didn't care to watch the second or third one?
Yeah, it's like Lord of the Rings. Just the first one's good enough. You don't watch the other 2.
Oh.
I think that might be the most monstrous thing Lucas has said or done, and he's killed 4
Like,
people.
yeah, like riddles. I just there's a moment.
You see almost physical hurt on Chip's face.
Um,
Don't watch sci-fi films, thank you.
any indication of anything anomalous on board the plane? Is it just a reappearance out of its own time stream?
I mean, the fact that it appears to be the exact same aircraft from 60 odd years ago.
You got Gauss readings, you got EMF meters, any...
Oh, hang on.
Nothing.
Backpack.
Nice.
I've got some.
Everything,
I've got some stuff to hand out.
Background levels. Sorry, Chip. Continue.
Yeah. I've got just all the standard meters and things. Actually, you've been using the stuff I've made already.
Gotcha.
Apologies if you found any crumbs inside them. I'm a nervous eater.
I haven't been cracking them open and looking inside, to be honest.
No, that doesn't seem like a good thing to do, given what half of them are composed of. Capacitors will kill you fast.
Probably the cesium will kill you faster.
No, massive electricity will kill you very quickly.
True.
But it could also then bring you back very quickly, depending on how it's administered.
What's the cover story been given to the public and the staff of the airport?
That it is a heritage flight. Yeah, it's in for an air show about historical aircraft.
So we're not going to get bird watching PP Lucky Loos trying to get close.
Well, not at this stage.
We've got civilian police on the perimeter.
Oh yeah, for sure. No one else will be allowed inside.
They
We had
all
visual confirmation of anyone inside.
Yeah. Well, we're talking to the pilot now.
Yeah, but can you see them?
We can see. We can see the pilot and co-pilot, and we can see people through the windows. Yeah.
What have they been told?
Well, the pilot thinks it's a hoax. He doesn't understand what's going on, because for him, he left New York 8 hours ago.
But they are
says
aware
64
that
years.
it's 2023.
The pilot has been told, but is refusing to believe it. The passengers, we've not had any direct contact with them. And the pilot has assured us that he has not told them yet.
Luckily, due to capitalism, most of the Heathrow airport hasn't changed all that fucking much. So he's right to not believe anything.
Are the cops on
Totally
the,
arrived there.
are the civilian cops on the perimeter? Are they Section 31?
No, they're airport police at this stage. It has literally just landed.
Okay. No rest for the wicked, eh?
Indeed. Does the pilot reported anything unusual or like
No,
anything?
he has reported that it was a normal flight.
Oof.
As I say, he is under the belief that it is still 1959.
Is there anyone on that flight that might be classified as a VIP?
Not from the manifest, no. They appear to be a combination of British tourists and American tourists.
Ed, you can have a word.
Sure.
Yeah. Lucas's suspicion is that maybe there was some kind of... Because 59 is sort of the tail end of all of the... Well, for starters, it's Cold War, but it's also the tail end of all the scientists being shipped over from countries that were naughty in the 40s.
The
naughty 40s.
Can I get Riddle... Well, can I suggest to Riddle and ask if it's possible to run background checks whether any of these names are aliases? Like, are there any births registered the requisite number of years before with this same name where someone has picked up the name of a dead baby, etc.?
He started to look through those kinds of things.
Yeah.
can I have a... it's probably going to be a computer check.
Cool.
Yeah, because what else would it be?
Right. I need this one and this one. That one. And that one. 2 successes.
Okay. So it takes you a while to get through all 63 names. Unsurprisingly, details around Cold War covers is still steeped in mystery. There don't appear to be any aliases that you can find. Most of them have got families who mourned their loss, attended funerals. After it was lost, everyone aboard was then declared dead.
That's probably like where Riddle starts. He starts with the obituaries for all these people going backwards, because it's probably easier to find those than anything else.
So, I guess the only person of note would be passenger in seat 63, Adora Blackburn. They were originally a UK, but they emigrated to the US. But there's no one from there that appears to have roots that could be traced back to sort of the Eastern Bloc.
Do any of the surviving family members have any relevance to them?
What do you mean by relevance?
Like, so there's no VIPs on the plane, but the people that were left behind.
Oh, I see.
Could I make an investigation of some kind?
Yes.
If possible, could I pull in a dot of contacts from my police days?
I will always allow that. For sure. You can either do let's do investigation. And then you can pull...
Bear with me while I work out how contacts work.
I think they give you a boost to the roll.
I don't think they actually...
Or do they just assist? Did you just get an answer from me?
I think that is more like it, yeah.
Yes.
But
Okay.
it doesn't say there's any bonus to it, so I'm happy to roll.
Apologies, I've got the two mixed up.
It's actually, I'm happy to roll. Just
No. That's fine. Remind me the name of your contact.
Oh Lord. I can't. It was the desk sergeant at Merseyside, but I can't remember his name.
Okay, that's fine. He gets back to you pretty quickly, saying, "Sure thing, mate. I can look into it."
Cheers.
We're a little bit swamped right now, but I will get it to you as soon as possible.
Okay.
Now, do you want to wait for the response, or would you like to enter the aircraft before knowing that, and he will text you?
I think if we leave him too much longer, it's just going to boil over. Si, you're good at all the touchy-feely bollocks telling people what to do, eh?
Can be.
Yeah. Well, do we want to be honest with them? I imagine there might be some histrionics if we tell them everything you knew and loved is dead.
Yes, I suspect secrecy for now. A kind of a story of some description to pacify them. Assuming the captain hasn't blabbed already.
I would ordinarily advise for transparency, but in this case, when there's a bunch of people trapped inside an aluminum tin can, it's not.
I can't fucking believe I'm saying this. Do we need to dress like we're from the 50s? Because Riddle, you've got pink hair and you're wearing like a lot of belts. It's a lot of belts, man.
There are a lot, but it's a good look, and as long as I'm careful, I don't catch myself on anything. But
Weirdly, Simon, you actually look pretty much like you fit in anyway.
Suit is universal. So.
Chip is wearing an oversized grey hoodie
Weirdly,
with a backpack full of electronics.
Lucas is wearing a leather jacket, blue jeans, and a white t-shirt, so actually he might fit in 1959.
Right. Hold on. I think I have like steampunk getup that I can pull out and take off the gears and things.
Sure.
I'll wear a hat.
Yeah, that'll do. Right, come on, let's go.
Okie dokie. Is this? Hopefully you can see that one.
Mm.
Oh, it's so cursed.
Oh.
Yeah.
So as you enter, there is a there are several people dressed as pilots, and some very nervous-looking stewardesses, kind of waiting at the door for you.
I have a question, Mike.
Yes.
The Comet 4 seat plan
Yep.
and the image appear to not match up. Is that intentional? Like it's got 3 seats on the left and 2 seats on the right in the image, but if you look at the seat plan, it is the other way around.
If it was possible for me to award inspiration, I would, because that is a detail that I have missed and is unintentional. Yes, clearly the pictures that I have used are of a different Comet 4 flight configuration.
At first I thought the image had been mirrored, but then I saw on the left portable oxygen.
Yeah.
So that is accidental and not relevant to the campaign, but it's an incredibly good spot, and I award you for your attention to detail.
Can I take a beat for that?
Not quite that good. If I would restore your willpower if I could, but it's already at maximum. So,
Quick, be really willful about something.
So
I don't want to do a field trip. There we go.
Gone.
I was going to say the picture, use it as thematic as opposed to the actual representation work on the seat plan.
I thought that was probably the case, but at the same time, I would not put it past you. I would not put past that.
Idea.
I would not put that past any of you.
Like Mirror Universe is honestly like, yeah, that could be it today, couldn't it?
Yeah, I will bank that for future. That is amazing. Yeah, sorry, Rich, what were you about to say?
Is this a plane that we can attach a gangway to, or is it so old that we have to go outside and up some stairs that are being wheeled over? How isolated are we making?
Is it a sky bridge or like trolley stairs?
It's trolley stairs, primarily
to keep it away from the terminal.
Precisely. They want as few people to see this as possible, and they're trying, because they don't know what's happened at the moment, so they've tried to isolate the aircraft. So you've had to go outside, and then you're currently up some steps.
We attach some is it chip?
Yeah.
Can you stick some sensors on this door before we pop the cork, as it were?
Sure. So I've got, let's see, EKG meter, I've got Gauss meter, I've just got a stethoscope. Do you want to use the stethoscope?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'll take the stethoscope.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not sure what bullshit technobabble meters you might be asking for. Out of character, I don't know what would be good things to use here.
Okay, so different anomalies will give off different readings. The primary ones that we've been using are the Gauss meter, which will does magnetism, and then there's the EMF, which will so that'll be electronic disruption, and there's also sometimes useful Geiger counters.
Well,
So-
I would assume I'd have all those in my bag.
You've got portable versions.
Hmm.
They are not reading anything of particular note. However, if you want to attach something to the outside of the aircraft to read in, then I will require a crafting check. But you can tell based off your portable stuff that there's nothing that's generating so high readings that it's able to pierce the aluminium shell, or whatever the Comet 4 was
So
actually made out of.
intelligence and crafts.
Yes, I believe so.
And if it's a specialty, do we add one more dice?
Yes, I believe so. Oh, that's a very lovely roll. What was the actual number? 3. So with that, so you can have 3 devices that you can attach to read the interior. So as well as the 3 transmission devices, you've also got something like visual and audio. You can see through the windows that there are a whole bunch of nervous people that look like they're dressed either for business or holiday. Their fashion seems to match the era of 1959. But if you wanted to have a more detailed look inside, you can, or if you want all 3 of the different meter readings, then you can. What 3 would you like?
I will. I'll lay out the options to the one who seems to be giving the orders so far, and ask what his preference is. Which is
one's
Simon,
that?
by the way.
Yeah, figured that was his. Yeah. I was about to say, if you say Lucas, he's going to look to Simon. But
Remind me my 3 options.
So you've got the Gauss meter, you've got the EMF meter, you've got the Geiger counter, you've got audio and visual.
I think
Chip knows what he's doing, so I will allow audio and visual to be combined into one. I'm not going to be that mean.
Is the Geiger counter super precise, the ones he's got? Because what I'm thinking is, this is pre like massive amounts of nuclear testing.
when was the
the
Comet
US
4
Navy.
constructed? Yeah, because
So-
you'd be able to
so-
test the steel.
Yeah. As to how much nuclear
Ooh.
radiation is actually in the aircraft, because if if it was
So-
really from 1958, it'd be significantly less.
So the Geiger counter will just tell you background radiation, although I will add another option, which will be a metallurgical analysis.
Could I take a sample for the metallurgical analysis using crime scene investigation?
You can. It won't be as the problem is you can get a sample easily.
Yeah.
It will be how quickly you can then analyze said sample.
Gotcha.
Um,
What are we going to tell these people in the short term? Problem with the terminal or something?
That seems a reasonable thing to do.
What were people worried about in 1959?
Nuclear war.
Cold War.
That'll do.
Based
Maybe-
on where they were going, Russians?
Say there's a Russian national been detained at the terminal, and we've got a.
Better yet, why didn't we say that we suspect one of them of being a spy? No better way of turning them on themselves and revealing information that some insight that might be useful to us.
I mean, I love it, but it's not going to keep them calm.
I'd rather than I need to not be speaking at all in there if I can avoid it. I've just realized that.
Double agents.
Well,
They're like the
I'll
episode
give
of
them
Blackadder
Australian accent.
in the hospital with the German spy.
Oh, say there's been an outbreak of Spanish flu in the. Some of these fuckers will be old enough to remember that. So there's been an outbreak of Spanish flu in the terminal, and we're keeping them here to keep them safe.
that's
Or
a
fucking scarlet fever, or measles, or mumps, or some shit that anti-vaxxers want to bring back.
Polio.
Yeah, polio.
Cool.
And super gonorrhea, I don't know.
We need to isolate the pilot pretty quickly, though, given that he already knows why.
Yeah, we'll take him into the cockpit.
Yeah.
Okay,
should we crack this bad boy open?
What were the three analyzers you wanted beforehand? Sorry.
I think Simon's preference would be the non audio visual one. So the other three, so the Geiger, the EMF?
Geiger, EMF, and Gauss. There's also the metallurgical analysis as well.
I think by the time we get anything useful back on that one, it may be.
Well, no. So Chip seems to know what he's doing, and if you just take a sample for metallurgical analysis, it will take a while. If you use Chip's success, he will be able to give you a rough idea quite quickly, like almost instantaneously.
Do we drop EMF?
I mean, that thing's going to be a fairly gauge anyway. Probably won't get out from the EMF either way.
You happy with that, Chip?
Yeah.
So Gauss, Geiger, and metal was it?
Metallurgy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so so the Gauss will give you nothing that you don't know already. Apologies, no. It will show slightly elevated levels compared to the outside. Was EMF the other one?
Oh, EMF is one we're dropping.
So Geiger, right?
Geiger.
Geiger, yeah.
Geiger is a background radiation. There's nothing of note there, and the metallurgical analysis will show you that it is. It appears to be. It matches the elements in construction that was used at the time, and it is also showing early signs of metal fatigue, which, if you do even the cursory level of research, is one of the reasons why the Comet 4 was discontinued from service.
This looks to be the real McCoy then.
Very much so.
And it presumably hasn't existed for the intervening time.
It's not showing 64 years of metal fatigue.
It is not. The metal is not like 60 years old. This is an aircraft. So this is an aircraft that is 3, maybe 4 years old.
Which lines up with what we know about the original flight 614, 914.
Yeah, 914.
And I'm going to keep the Geiger counter on so that when we step in, I can see if there is a noticeable drop to see below background levels when we enter.
Okay.
That's honestly a great idea.
Cool. Do you open the door at this stage?
Yep.
Before we go, very quickly, this isn't a monster of the week scenario, so I'm assuming we're not coming in with assault rifles. But in terms of weaponry, do we have like a handgun? Do we have all wearing body armor? Are we protecting ourselves at all?
So, you still have you will have collected your luggage, so things like grenades and assault rifles will never have passed through security. However, body armor is fine, and
Emotional
have-
support knife.
yeah, so that's in the checked-in luggage, so not you couldn't bring it aboard the aircraft, but yeah, you've collected your luggage, so you have knives and even sidearms, as you have a special license to carry them.
One more question. I forget what the fused, the Intrepid or something. The thing that was fusing to the mountainside. The research lab from Scorpion Holdings.
Oh,
I didn't finish that one.
Dreadnought.
It
Hold
was something. Regardless, not important what it was called. Lucas was quite badly injured at the end of that one. Am I assumed to have healed up, or have I still got like 4 broken ribs? Because I'm happy to.
that's a very good point. Well, no, because there was some stopover in the US before coming back, so you will have your any tight hugs might be uncomfortable, but you could run without being impeded.
It's
It's
Lucas.
kind of-
Any hugs, full stop, are uncomfortable
Okay.
for me and them.
Uh,
Me emotionally and them because of all the weaponry hidden in my jacket.
Healing levels are now closer to a bruise as opposed to a break.
Cool. Let's pop this bad boy open then.
Yeah, apologies. That was the last of my questions.
No. That's. Please ask.
What
away,
was
this
the
is
cover
important.
story we were going for again to keep them all calm and on the plane?
Polio.
A sickness outbreak. Call it
Polio.
like a whatever.
Yeah. Say it's a vaccine-resistant version of polio. That will keep them in there.
Cool.
Polio vaccine was around this time, so.
And you
Jonas
have
Salk.
you've managed to cobble together clothes that's sort of roughly in the similar era, if I recall correctly. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the gear. Oh, the way.
So you pop open the door, and there are a lot of nervous people. Most of them are they're all sat in their seats, but they've moved right up to the front of the plane. But the stewardesses are keeping them in their seats. You've got a couple of people in pilots' uniforms stood by the door, and the one closest, he says, "My name's Mark Fenton." He outreaches a hand, and he goes, "I'm the pilot. What the bloody hell is going on here?"
I'm gonna pull out my my UK cops badge as opposed to the Homeland Security one Riddle made me, and say, "Hello, sir. We've been apprised of a situation in the terminal. Would you mind accompanying me to the cockpit, and we'll have a discussion there."
Very well. And he will lead you into the cockpit. Inside, I'm going to get slightly nerdy for a second. Older aircraft had 3 people in the cockpit: pilot, co-pilot, and flight engineer. So within the cockpit, there is still the flight engineer. He looks confused. So you are now in the cockpit with the pilot and the flight engineer.
So I said before that I was keeping an eye on the Geiger counter as we entered the
Yes.
plane. Is there a noticeable drop in background radiation as we enter this area that's presumably not been exposed to the background levels of radiation of the real world,
So
or the modern world rather than real?
there is a slight increase, still at what could be classed as background level, but there is a slight increase. And could I have does it have history? I don't think it does it?
Academics.
It would depend on what the history was about. Like, maybe it would be politics if it was history of politics.
Science.
Academics would be a good one for history learning.
Let's go. Can I go? Yeah, intelligence academics for anyone who wishes to receive why that might be the case. Ooh, lots of people.
Did that come through as private?
That was a perception check as
Why is that
opposed to
perception?
I can see
So
Joe
that-
privately rolled some dice.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that was a perception check, which is probably why that was private.
Let's try that again.
Also
There we
private.
That's private even to me.
go. Okay, let's one
In the-
more go.
That's a funny one.
Oh, there's a dice.
That
There
work?
you go.
No
Yeah.
successes.
Okay, so Chip and Simon. They appear to be consistent with background levels from 1959, an era just after a lot of nuclear testing.
Right.
So
The shit
I'm
hadn't settled yet.
yeah, I'm kind
Yeah.
of giving it because you were along the right lines, but you reached the wrong conclusion.
And the air would be from New York, not from the UK.
Yes,
Yeah, which had was closer to the belt.
technically
Closer to
recycled
Nevada,
over
yeah.
yeah. So yes, they are. They're not dangerous and they're not noteworthy. They are higher than they would be for modern times, but they're not anywhere close to dangerous or significant levels.
Okay.
So back to the cockpit.
Are we all going to the cockpit?
Simon will cut a complete at the very least.
Riddle is trying to make sure he does not say a damn thing in this plane.
I will say, I think, like, Lucas is good at physical intimidation. He's probably not that good at social intimidation.
Okay.
So I think, like, Lucas might stay out with the passengers and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Can I sort of flash my police badge in a manner which suggests that we are all members of the police department? And therefore we should be regarded as such, even though none of the others are.
Yes. Can I please have a? Is it done in an aggressive manner?
No, I don't think. Rarely for Lucas, no, I don't think it is.
Okay. So can I have manipulation and persuasion plus another 2 dice based off the badge?
Cool. That's the wrong one. One.
1. Okay. People seem to accept that you are all. That you've arrived as a group. The leader of the group has flashed a badge. Logic dictates that you are all police officers. Whether there are any doubters, that is unclear at this stage. But as a mass, they are accepting it. But again, there's still a lot of panic, and there's a lot of not panic, confusion and worry. So I'm going to flash forward to the cockpit, and then I'll come back to the.
That's super good. I need to get peas. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's fine. So was it just Simon who's out now in the cockpit as you've appeared?
Riddle
I would
back as
gesture
well.
for Riddle to accompany me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Riddles as well.
Okay, so the 2 of you in the cockpit.
Yep.
Yes. Very well, officers. What is going on here?
You already know. You've been briefed on the radio. Have you not?
As
You
a hoax, surely.
Have you told anyone else
About
about this funny joke?
Only the flight crew are aware, as in myself, the flight engineer here, Jonathan, and my co-pilot Greg.
Is Greg in the cockpit as well, or is he?
No, he's out with the other 2. He has not followed you in.
I will summon him in as well then.
Okay. Cool. Yes.
I want the 3 people who know in the same room,
Yeah.
isolated.
That seems.
Entirely reasonable.
And we pull the curtain
Yeah.
because there is
The
no
door's here.
fucking door.
Okay, so what's the real reason you've stopped us?
This is Richard thinking, not Simon thinking.
Riddle is like,
If they're already like, is it worth continuing something? Like, we're gonna do it with the rest of them. Is it worth continuing with it in this?
So Riddle goes, what, and he's trying to put on like an accent that isn't his own. What do you think about what we've told you? And looks at the 3 of them.
Well, you haven't told us anything yet. You've just come aboard.
Well, what do you think of the what do you think of the story so far?
And he kind of lowers his voice slightly and he goes, what, that I took off from New York in 1959 and have landed in London in 2024.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, unbelievable, preposterous. What do you expect me to believe?
And you two think the same.
Oh, hold on. The co-pilot also shakes his head in disbelief, and Jonathan, the flight engineer, will go, well, I mean, you never know what the government's performing all sorts of experiments, aren't they? This was probably some kind of like time machine experiment, and we've just been transported into the future.
There's a member on our team who quite like the cut of your gym.
Wait till they find out it was still legal to experiment on schizophrenics for 36 years after they disappeared.
Yeah.
That's not a conspiracy theory. That's true in the regular real world.
It is, and Sweden was practicing eugenics up until 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
ranting aside,
do you what was I gonna say? Right. What do your instruments tell you? Because I know you've been looking.
They tell us that we're on the. It's not a time machine.
No, but it'll tell you things about what radio frequencies we're using and all that kind of stuff. I know you've been looking. You have to. Looking. You're curious.
It's true that there was some the outer marker beacon was on a different frequency, and
there's a hell of a lot more radio frequencies and signals around here, aren't there?
Well, it was certainly noisier. There were a lot more aircraft that I saw, but
a lot bigger, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're serious, aren't you? We're not in 1959 anymore.
Oh no, I'm just asking questions right now, man. I'm just my friend. I'm just asking questions. I'm not trying to do anything else. I'm just trying to figure out what you think. That's all. Me and my friend here. That's what we're doing.
Yes. I must say, for a Yank, you've got a really bizarre accent.
I get that
out
a lot.
of character, can I put in the fucking work Brad is putting in? Appreciate the work Brad is putting in to play an American man playing a Ukrainian man playing an American man from a different place than the first American man. If I could give inspiration, I would.
Fucking hard.
Brad's fake American accent is so good at being a
But
fake
it's
American
also
accent.
so fake, and how can that be?
Because it's
Very
based on
good.
JFK. It's just jeez. Which just always sounds like the most fake American accent you can pull.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Say-
Riddle is a
Yeah.
long lost Kennedy is the conspiracy theory I'm fucking here for.
say I believe you. Which
Yeah.
what do you want us to do?
We want to know why.
Yeah.
Why you?
Well, isn't that what you're here to find out? Because I haven't got a clue.
Well, what was the
Well,
last
you're gonna
thing?
provide us with your insights and stuff.
Oh,
You experience this phenomena.
I'm not sure what it was a normal flight. We took off from New York in.
I don't
1950.
believe that.
You are welcome to. So this is the point where we will be rolling those lovely insight rolls, which is
I'm not here.
so that is, I believe, presence and empathy. I believe is.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna spend a willpower on this one. I think.
I would like to use Predator's Bearing, which means I get +1 to any social roll from seeming like a predator.
sure.
Yes, good.
I'm sure that's supposed to be for vampires or something.
It might be, but it fits.
Oh, not complaining. The opposite of complaining.
Little did Ryan know it was for vampires.
How much sunscreen is he using?
I'm gonna pick a different skill because I can't seem to find a way of artificially bumping up my
Okay.
roll by 1. So
Oh,
I can add a plus to all my die rolls, but I can't bump by 1. But not that it matters.
No.
Like 0.
that adds dice.
I thought it adds 1 to all. Does it not?
No, it adds dice.
Let's find out. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
0 either way.
Yeah, zeros.
As far as
Well.
you can tell, he's telling the truth.
Look, we're just trying to figure out what you know about where you were. Nothing unusual happened on your flight at all.
Well, I'll take you through. I'll take you through what we did. We left New York. We were maybe 10 minutes delayed. It was relatively nice weather. It was a day flight, which is lovely, so we're not flying through the night. It was what, 8-9 hours. Things got a little bit chaotic as we came in range of the English coastline. Suddenly we lost the beacons and the chatter massively increased, and we lost contact with the tower. But we ran through the frequencies and were able to find them again. They were using a different one.
They
And
were.
that's when we tried to explain our situation. They didn't believe us. We didn't believe them. But fuel necessitated that we land, which we've done, and we're now here talking to you.
Do you have a up-to-date manifest?
A manifest what of the crew?
And passengers.
Yeah, crew and passengers. Sure thing. And he will happily hand you. So he wouldn't have it, but he'll head out. He'll talk to the stewardess, and he'll give you a paper copy of the crew manifest, which hopefully you've all got copies
But is his copy identical to our copy? Like, they don't have an extra passenger or one less passenger that we weren't accounting for?
Their paper manifest matches exactly. You could have... So, they look like they were both printed incredibly recently, although one appears to be on a thicker stock of paper, but before budget cuts, etc., came into place.
Is the one from 1959 like typewriter typed or something?
Yes, it would be. There's also there are ticks by every single passenger name,
And done manually.
And none written in pen or anything?
so all the ticks are done by pen.
But there's no names written in
Oh
pen.
no, none of the names are in pen. They're all typed out.
Yeah.
Mike, out of curiosity, excuse me, is this the actual passenger list, the names, or have you made them up?
No, so this is the actual names, the manifests. They're the.
Because I'm assuming this is a real disappearance that happened.
It is based off of one. The name, yes. Yeah, so the names I have made up for this.
Gotcha.
But yes, there actually is a like a folklore around Flight 914, but it's not a British Airways flight.
Okay.
But yeah, these.
But
the
in
names, yes.
this world we exist in, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are actual names in this world, but I have I've made them up. If that's. I wasn't sure what distinction you wanted there, so.
It was like I know that you like your aircraft investigations, and
Yes.
was assuming this was. I wasn't sure how closely based on it this was. Like if this was an actual disappearance that you had managed to get your hands on the passenger manifest for, and had then just heavily just nicked all the names from that.
As lovely as that would be, that is not what has happened here.
Does the so whereas there is Flight 914 is a known like mystery thing in the real world, what is it like a conspiracy theory thing in the fictional world?
Yes. So that there are questions.
Can I
what happened
do an
to Flight...
outlandish, occult conspiracy roll to?
Absolutely.
I believe I have it as one of my asset skills. Is conspiracy theories.
Indeed.
I'm just looking at the name Vivian Eastwood and thinking, where have I heard that before? And then remembering, no, it was Vivian Westwood.
Yeah, Westwood.
Yeah.
No, the names have been put through a random name generator. So
2 successes.
okay. So yeah, this is definitely in your circles. You will have heard what happened to Flight 914. There were theories that it was hijacked by Russians to steal Western aircraft technology, or that it was shipping. It was actually a weapon shipment between the West, was shot down over the sea and lost.
See, therein lies something I was going to ask from back in the cabin.
There is one other thing.
Oh.
Based off of 2, there is one other idea that pops to mind based off of conspiracies. It was around that time. You already know about the conspiracy of the Chronosphere project, and the timings are not too misaligned. Is this perhaps what happened? They made a ship disappear and reappear. What happens if they did it to an aircraft?
Noted. That had radiation suffusing it though, didn't it? Or was that from something else?
There were huge radiation spikes afterwards, yes.
But here the radiation was only slightly increased.
Correct.
One of the things that I think would occur to Lucas and occurred to Joe as well is that, you know, what if you're looking for something odd on a plane, look for something that's odd on a plane. Like, has someone been smuggling something? So I might try and oh good, I'm so good at reassuring people. Say something like, you'll be out of here shortly, we're going to get your luggage taken over to the terminal, it's only only a precaution, but and then get the luggage sent to agency engineers for them to strip everything apart and
Sure.
like search it for contraband or like big glowing screaming idols or something in someone's luggage.
Yeah. Sure thing. Okay, cool. How? So anyone who's can I have an insight check? Oh, what do they call it?
Is that in the cabin?
Yeah.
Empathy
Once you tell them they're going to search their luggage, you want to see how.
I'm not going to tell them their luggage is going to be searched. I'm going to tell them their luggage is being taken to the terminal to await collection, that kind of thing.
Okay. Apologies.
And like, I might throw in like, oh, sorry for the inconvenience. The airline has said they're going to be reimbursing you to the tune of £5 each, which is a fuckload of money in 1959.
Can I have presence and empathy from anyone who's with the passengers? Which I think
good
is
at presence and empathy. No.
I'm going to
Chip,
spend a point of willpower, which you say adds 3.
3 dice.
I need my willpower to murder people.
I don't do the whole murdery thing, so I'm happy to
So you can
use
spend
it.
away. Thing is, I only have 2 from my regional flip.
People seem relieved and somewhat excited. £5 is a lot of money. They'll be getting off soon. It's a bit odd, but if someone says they're going to leave, they're going to leave. They haven't actually been there that long, so...
Yeah. Just turn to Chip and sort of whisper, do you think the agency can cover 520 quid? It's not going to break the bank, is it?
Probably not. I break more than 520 quid's worth of stuff every week.
I think you genuinely see Lucas crack a bit of a smile there, and like, despite himself.
I mean,
What?
I'm just trying to fix it most of the time. It's whatever you guys do to it when it comes back.
Yeah, well. Is there any? I suppose that will be covered by the presence and empathy, so completely ignore me. Is there anyone who is? Can I do like perception rather than empathy, not to get an insight on people's feelings, but is there anyone who is acting like suspiciously or doing something suspicious?
Sure, yeah. Where does perception come in?
Wits and composure, I think.
That's it. Wits and composure. Yeah.
I privately rolled
Yeah.
blind.
No one seems to be doing anything suspicious that you can see. However, you cannot see 63 people.
How many can I
Just
see?
that would require a full count if that is something you wish to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will very much literally just go and say, I'll tell them I'm just going to do a head count to make sure everyone is accounted for.
Cool. So there are 6 stewardesses. You've obviously got the 3 flight crew who are currently with Simon and Riddle.
Yep.
And then there are 33.
33.
33 passengers.
We're missing what? 14?
11, I think.
11.
Sorry, you said. Oh wait, no, Purser. Purser counts as one of the stewardesses, does it?
Yeah, Purser is the chief stewardess.
Okay.
Who they tend to be at the front, and they'll they're the lead.
That'll be the one who had the crew roster.
Yes, precisely.
In that case, I'm gonna get the roster and just call attendance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure thing. So, what's the best way? So this is where the Excel sheet might come in handy for you guys.
Nice. I love an Excel sheet. I took a call at work today from someone whose surname was Colum Rowe. COLLUM-ROWE. And
Amazing.
And it made me so happy. I made so many Excel jokes.
That is good.
Like,
Well, I bet you excelled at that.
Ooh, roll call. They're not there.
my screen just froze. I've just got back. Sorry.
Yeah, I assumed you were just pausing because of my bad joke.
I didn't even hear it. I'm really sorry.
No.
Text.
I also. Let's move on. So the following people fail roll call. They're not there. Which is I think that's Dylan Hackett. I've crossed them all out, so I can't read them properly. Seat 12, Avril. Seat 13, Noreen. Seat 34, Justin. Seat 35, Jody. Seat 55, Kirsty. Seat 56, Edith. Seat 57, Ian. 58, Eileen. 60, Vivian. 61, Joan. 62, Arthur. 64, Carmen. 65, Julie. 66, Dora. 90, Elizabeth. 92, Angie. 96, Glynis. And 105, John.
Hello, John.
Hello, John.
Those are the missing ones.
They are the missing ones.
So hang on, we were missing 105, 96.
105, 96, 93, 92, 90.
Yep.
66.
Yep.
65, 64.
Yep.
62.
Yep.
61. 60. 58. 57. 56.
Yep.
55.
Yep.
35.
Yep.
34.
Yep.
13.
13. Yep.
Yep. 12.
Yep.
11.
Yep.
And 10.
Okie squokey. Let's pop this over here.
Hopefully, if
So,
my maths is correct,
looking
that's
at the seating plan,
Yeah,
Yep.
this one. Same.
it seems like there'll be some people who are sat next to people who are no longer there. Is that correct?
that does indeed seem to be correct. Yes.
That's well. We're going to ask that question.
Cool. Are you picking anyone in particular?
Let's go for 9 was empty. 13 was empty. All of the aircraft
Sorry, what was
between 46 and 51.
Sorry, 46 and 51.
Between 46 and 51 is where we came in at the door.
You'll
where
be
are
at
the
the
doors?
nose. You'll be towards the nose of the aircraft. So.
Oh, Rich, you're doing God's fucking work there.
Oh my
Legend.
god.
Legend.
I was trying to see if it spelled out something or.
That's exactly what I thought, yeah.
So what is it?
So-
Blue are the ones who've disappeared, are they? Or red's the ones that are
Yeah.
there?
Red are empty seats. Blue are missing people.
Disappeared. So if we look at one of the rows, one of the seats that someone has disappeared from, can we see if have they left stuff there? Do the seats look satin? Are the belts like undone?
Ooh.
Because
So
I bet British Airways in the 1950s, all of the belts would have been pristinely done up before every flight. So if someone had sat in them, they'd be undone.
sure. So can you pick a seat for me, as it may or may not have an effect?
Let's say 34, 35.
34, 35.
Because that was next to one who didn't disappear.
Okay, so 34, 35. So the seatbelt is undone. For both seats. So 34 and 35. Seatbelts are undone. You find. Can I have an investigation check of the area? Some stuff you will get immediately without having to roll, but let's see how well you do.
I'm also going to piggyback on this.
Yeah, you both can.
So intelligence and investigation?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
It can be 4 successes.
Okay. Cool.
Only 2 successes, I'm afraid.
So, the seats are undone. If you compare it to one where no one was ever assigned a seat, you are absolutely correct. The seatbelts are done. Are all connected. They look pristine and unsat in. The 2 seats that you're looking at, it does appear that someone was sat in there, but is not anymore. Under the seat, you find like a crisp packet that appears to have been dropped to the floor. It's empty.
Like litter.
But there is notably, especially with the 4, there's no personal luggage belonging to either of them, not in the seats nor in the overhead compartments.
Can I point to the crisp packet and say to the person sitting next to, "Oh, was this yours?"
Who is the person sat next to them? Is that 35? Is
That'd
that
be 33.
Ivan Price.
Nah, not mine.
Was anybody sitting here?
No, I was alone in the seat. Had the road
What,
to
all
myself.
New York?
Yeah, it was lovely.
Nice legroom, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm rolling insight. What's insight?
Absolutely.
I would also like to fail insight.
So I think insight is going to be presence and empathy. I think.
Shit.
I have rolled a 1 on an unskilled check. Does that do anything bad?
It results in a critical failure.
I'm spending a willpower for this.
But it's not a pressured roll.
Okay,
so
cool. So there's no danger.
You
to
can't read someone so badly.
it. He's got a knife.
Yeah. So, Lucas, you're not sure, but this guy may have stabbed to death the 2 other passengers right in front of everyone.
So just the regular level of paranoia. Cool.
Yeah, you've got no proof of that. It's just a feeling. This guy's probably killed at least 50 times and is going to kill again.
I planted evidence on people that I had a gut feeling about before. It's fine.
Chip, the guy is not lying. There is something odd.
Is it odd in his eyes?
You cannot place it. there is a.
So he's showing none of the telltale signs of any kinds of mental impairment from
No,
intoxication or anything like that.
No, as far as you can tell, he is sober and telling the truth. He's not under any stress. However, in your gut, something is off. You don't know what yet. It could be the fact that this plane is from 1959 and it's 2024. It might be that. It might not be.
But I mean, on the plus side, for being from the 1950s, it's incredibly well preserved.
So, he is not lying to you, as far as you can tell. I will add that if someone is lying to you, mechanically it will always be a contested roll. So
Okay.
you will have had to beat whatever they rolled. Just like a success here does not guarantee the full picture. I will give you that from a mechanical point of view for free.
Oh yeah, but I'd still go, okay, yeah, I don't believe he's lying to me at this exact moment in time.
Can I speak to one of the stewardesses and ask them how many passengers signed up and had tickets?
Yeah, sure thing. So the closest stewardess, yeah, sure thing. It's probably on the manifest. Do you want me to get it for you?
Well, I've got the manifest, but just want to remember how many people you remember seeing boarding.
Oh,
It's a ballpark.
Ballpark.
Sorry, an estimation.
30.
So
Like,
that
not
lines up with the reduced number.
Correct. I assume you don't say that out loud.
No, yeah. So that was a reduced number. No, I don't.
Yeah. While you ponder that, I'm going to leap back into the cockpit.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can. I will allow another insight check, which is going to be.
So I'm looking. So we have the manifest from them.
Yep.
Does the manifest that we have tick marks against every single person, or is it like?
Yes, it does. Yep, every single person, even the ones that are no longer aboard this flight.
We don't even know that.
We don't know that yet.
Oh, apologies. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't know that yet. All right. So inside check, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
based off of the captain's account of how they got from New York to London.
Yeah.
Presence and empathy,
Yes.
right? Ah.
2 successes.
So the captain is telling the truth.
Well, seems like you're on the up and up. All right. Well, we're gonna confer with our colleagues, and we'll try and get you out of here as quickly as we possibly can. Right. Is there anywhere on this? Can you get into the holds? I'm not completely familiar with this aircraft.
Yeah, at the back, where the stewardesses prepare drinks and stuff. There's a hatch into the cargo compartment.
Ah, good.
The plane's depressurized at this point. There's this.
Just anything might come to mind while you're thinking about it.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Because everything just suddenly froze.
Everything froze for me as well. I think Discord might be
And
having
me.
issues tonight.
Yeah.
I think it.
I thought for a second Joe was very puzzled, and then I realised that his screen had frozen.
I was puzzled because I did have an idea, but it's not relevant right now.
Okay.
Uh,
Sorry.
No,
You can access the cargo hull from the rear.
yeah. So, is there anything unusual you remember when the plane took off? Changes in passengers, or last-minute arrivals, or anyone coming over to tell you to do anything strange or unusual? Nothing like that.
No. It was a normal flight. I honestly can't think of anything noteworthy about the entire flight. I mean,
Just
I was I popped out to the loo at one point during the flight, and yes, someone else was also going to the loo at the same time, but other than that, it was all
just a routine question then. Okay, sure. We'll confirm with our colleagues and we'll come back to you.
sure thing. Do you want us to do anything?
No. Specifically, we appreciate you not telling anyone else about what we've told you in this.
I mean, who would believe us if we said? I mean,
Well, right now we're just asking questions, so you know.
Although I have to know, if you're from the future, have we?
No,
got
you're from the past.
Okay, well, it's the future for us. Are there hover cars?
That's classified.
Absolutely.
Like
I flew here today.
As we're leaving, like Riddle will. I always wanted there to be hover cars. I never got the fucking hover cars. They're so stupid. Right.
I just like to, as you're saying that and you're coming out, Chip's just going to lean, because he'll be right there, just lean over and go, I'm working on it.
Mike.
Yes.
Can I? Is there anywhere I can get privacy? Like I guess like go in the loo, but like, can I get a mobile signal?
Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly Google the names of the passengers who aren't here to see if they've started existing, or whether they are still reported as having been lost with this flight.
Sure thing. Can I have a computer check? So intelligence computer. You will succeed in this task. This is more how quickly this all occurs.
I'm going to text Riddle. No, actually, I'm just going to go and talk to Riddle and whisper that in his ear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. That's not a problem. Yeah.
Cool. Whoever wishes to make the check, like. It'll be an intelligence computer. Whoever attempts it, you will succeed. It's not a difficult task.
Riddle will say to motion everyone to back of the plane where he knows we can get to the hold, where it will definitely be private.
Yeah.
Before we do that, I will signal to someone outside the plane to seal up, or to not let anyone else. Because like if we're all at the back of the plane, I don't want anyone else sort of
keep
the runner.
Flipping off into the night.
Yeah, so there will be guards at the bottom of the steps. The stewardesses currently are doing quite a good job of keeping everyone in their seats.
Also £5.
I was about to say, and now with the promise of £5, you have bought yourself some extra patience. So,
can you tell us about the missing people before we head to the back?
I think
when we get in the hold, we'll.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once we're in the hold, taking on that accent was terrible.
Chip gets a toaster out of his just a portable toaster out of his backpack and some bread.
Is that bread fresh?
Yeah.
Do you have a bread maker in your backpack?
I should put a bread maker in there. That's amazing. That's a brilliant idea. Then I can have fresh toast.
I'm glad
you have a battery-operated toaster.
Yeah.
I
don't think you understand how comforting some nice hot toast with some jam or something on it is.
Well, I don't deny that, but it's all right. The pilot and the crew up front, nothing unusual, nothing strange happened. We got the crew manifest.
There's a bunch of people missing. And I'll show him the list.
Not according to their manifest.
Yeah, well, they're not in their seats, but they've definitely been on the plane.
We did roll call.
Well,
and no one remembers them.
What about the one who ticked off the names?
one of the stewardesses, I guess.
I asked the stewardess, and she said no, she'd had about 30 people get on, which is the number of people there.
Oh, well, that's weird. Let me
They'd
check the
been
name.
eaten by some kind of identity-consuming monster on the way through the fucking void or some shit.
What were the names of the people? Give me some of the names.
I will give him the names.
And whilst you're doing that, I'm just going to search through all the bags in the hold to see if I can find any luggage from any of the people that are missing.
I will do the
You
computer
find
search.
0 luggage relating to those passengers.
And
There
also, the other people, their bags are all accounted for.
Correct. Anyone who you've accounted for that is still on the flight has luggage there, with a few exceptions.
So if there are 30 bags or so in here, presumably there is there is a decent amount of space compared to the capacity of this aircraft.
Yes.
In that case, what I'm going to do is equidistantly space bags on the rack in order in a what's called regular pattern, in order that if more people disappear, we'll be able to see that there is one missing from the middle of the square, etc.
Gotcha. Okay, sure thing.
So at the
Yeah.
moment, the only physical evidence that there was more people is the extra ticks on the manifest and this crisp packet when you inspected the specific seat.
Oh, what was the best before date on the crisp packet?
I mean, it'll be paper. It won't have a best before date.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say that it does, because it would have been I think Walker's was around, and I'm gonna say that they punched a best before date on it.
Sure.
You're
very generous.
It's your universe. You can do what you want.
1961.
Okay.
January.
Lines up.
Interestingly enough, it was introduced by Marks and Spencer's.
Really?
The best before date, yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe they're tired of the bad press from people going, "This lettuce I got from Marks and Spencer's was wonky."
It was introduced in the storerooms, apparently.
Oh.
Never intended to be used as a consumery tool.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's really best before, unless you're a coward.
Well, it's like anything is edible once if you try hard enough.
Oof.
Yeah. So you've got about because I think 25 bits of, like, there are 25 passengers worth.
If there are 25, that's perfect, because you can put them in a 5x5 square.
Oh, perfect.
And
there
then
you
if
go.
one disappears, we'll be able to see who got ate by the reality monster.
Cool.
That's Lucas's primary theory at this point, is what I'm saying.
Chip's also going to take photos of the layout as well.
Yeah. Fuck.
So he's got a Polaroid camera for exactly that purpose.
Any signs that any of the luggage has been tampered with, or that it contains anything with our scans, or like EMF, Gauss, etc.?
Lovely. So now that now that you're looking at your equipment, the EMF readings are higher than background levels, not stupidly high. Again, it indicates a residual presence of something. Before you take the luggage out as well, you notice that there are gaps where luggage once was, and it looks like something physical removed it from its space. So some luggage has been, like, pushed apart slightly so they could pull it out.
I have a theory, and I don't know how I would bear it out, but I would like to go into the cabin and investigate in order to try and prove the theory that this plane stopped off somewhere that no one remembers, and other passengers physically got off.
Okay.
They collected their bags and left. Is there, for example, like a cup of tea in one of the empty seats that hasn't been cleared up by a hostess that I could temperature check to see when it was poured, etc.?
What about the fuel gauge things as well?
Yeah, the amount of fuel in the plane, because that would tell
Yes,
us.
because no, it's not. It's going to be the tachometer, because you use more fuel, and the tachometer goes higher during takeoff and landing.
So, so two things. Firstly, yeah. So, yeah. Can I have an investigation check from all of you, please? It'll be intelligence investigation. Given
This
that
wouldn't
you're,
count as crime scene investigation.
well, yes, because I'm going to allow it because currently people have either disappeared or walked off.
Oh,
That is
Mike.
a lot of dice.
Oh, Mike. 7 successes.
Shit.
Oh, it's
Or
Only the one here, but
I forget how good you all are at that.
I'm good at literally two things, and that's solving crimes and causing crimes.
yeah, you're the police.
So you can correspond with
The police aren't
archival
good at solving crimes. Sorry, mate.
You can correspond it to archival records.
Yeah.
Helpfully, older generations of aircraft would fully fuel. This was back in a day when fuel was cheaper and they hadn't quite got. They weren't. The dangers of an aircraft fire were not fully realised. So aircraft would be fully fueled, regardless of distance travelled. Based off of the remaining fuel, it appears that the aircraft made a single journey from New York to London without any major deviation. There is definitely not enough fuel lacking that it landed and then took off again, because taking off is an incredibly fuel intensive process. And it appears that the journey took possibly up to an hour longer than it should have. However, the captain did mention that they had trouble landing in the first place.
Yeah. So the confusion on landing would account for the lost time.
It would. You find that there are other. You find a couple of other discarded effects. Notably, no personal effects. Any remains of the passengers
are all things they didn't bring with them.
Correct.
So stuff off the trolley gears.
Precisely that. I love the idea of water temperature so much that you even find a half-drunk cup of tea that is lukewarm at best. It's not ice cold,
but that implies closer to the. Like how long does it take a cup of tea to go cold? Like
with a 7 minutes. With a 7, you estimate that it probably started to cool down less than an hour beforehand. So about the time that they're approaching the UK coastline.
So it was over the White Cliffs of Dover, etc. Well, no, it would be Cornwall, but yeah.
Possibly just before that, but yeah. It would have, if you're correlating it with the captain's account of when things went haywire, it would have occurred before that.
Yeah, but that makes sense that someone had a cup of tea and then, yeah.
If I looked up a map of the flight path, could I roughly work out where they would have been when this occurred?
Yes.
Cross-referencing the captain's account that I presume I've been told with.
I think I know the answer to this, but this aircraft predates black box technology stuff.
It does. I was looking that up at the same time because I had the invention wasn't until 1967, and it wasn't mandated in commercial aircraft until much later.
Yeah. Also, this is pre 9/11 flights, and I feel like at least me, I don't remember what it was like to fly before 9/11. But these people could have fucking guns and meth in here.
They could. They would definitely be smoking. There would definitely.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
would be a
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So
Stuff will rot your lungs.
is it going to appear? No, it's not. 2 seconds.
I'm just going to look at everything.
Yeah. Right. I may have got this slightly wrong based on aircraft flight patterns, but hopefully, so where it's around that area that you think that the things started to get distorted.
Okay.
Which is pretty close to where we found the. Isn't that where the ship disappeared as well? Near there.
Around a similar area, yeah.
And where that thing we found was.
No, it's slightly north of it.
Yes, it is. You're right. It's closer to the UK. But the ship did disappear around there.
Yeah.
We don't have precise location of where the ship disappeared, did we? And getting precise location of where this aircraft was at the time of the disappearance is probably.
Oh, the Philadelphia, you mean, rather than Dawn?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we do.
Where is that?
Did I miss anything?
No.
There's a
One
map
of
in
our-
Discord showing roughly where the plane encountered its.
Off the coast of Ireland, whereas the
Yeah.
was further south.
Yes, but the Philadelphia, that's where that disappeared, right around that area. So one of your earlier theories that maybe the two.
What,
are-
chronosphere?
Yeah, that's the one.
Did we ever find out who was responsible for chronosphere? Was that a US Army one?
From your conspiracy side, yes, it was believed that the US Army was doing it. The agency denies that, refuses to officially acknowledge that existed, and has put it down to an internet conspiracy.
Well,
But we know
what's
what
this?
existed now because we went there.
Oh,
Yeah.
What, the chronosphere?
Yeah, we found.
Oh no, sorry, that's separate to the.
Yeah. The
what am I
chronosphere is
thinking
something
of?
well, see, it was found at the Scorpion base,
Yeah.
so it still wasn't to do with the OSC.
So it was maybe something the Scorpion Holdings had inherited from the US Army rather than. Yeah.
So what was the chronosphere thing? Like the ball of time?
Well, yeah, it was a technology that was invented by the US Army in the early 1950s. That was used to. Well, it was a time travel device. It was used to disappear people.
Presumably would have had to go somewhere.
Oh, I'm going to displace him in time, I guess.
You can see it. So you should.
It's
all
under
have-
conspiracies. Yeah.
Yes.
It's teleportation technology during the USA. During the Second World War.
Yeah.
And actually, the... Ooh, I have an idea.
According to this, it wiped all electronic storage or anything like that.
Michael,
Yes.
are any of the passengers still present a journalist?
2 seconds. 63, Dora Blackburn.
Yeah? I'm going to get Dora Blackburn's luggage and see if she has a dictaphone tape on there, because that would have been around in 1959.
Yep, you find one.
Has it been wiped? The magnetic tape?
No.
Interesting. I don't think it is this setting or game that it existed in, but there was something similar thing I had once. There was a test one could run, like a psychological evaluation one could run on a person to see if they'd been hypnotized.
Okay.
Does the agency have a way to determine if someone has had amnestics administered or been hypnotized to forget something?
I would. Yes. I'm going to call it the Van Halen test.
Yes.
So
It's very strong.
yeah. There's a set of questions that you can ask, and it will reveal whether someone has suffered some kind of memory loss. So what would be the 3 results? So no effect, currently under the effect of some kind of anesthetic or mind control, and then the third one, indications of previous exposure.
Could we give the pilot, who we've already let in to the sort of situation, that test?
Yes, you can. The pilot will show as previously affected, but not currently under any effect.
Okay. So would that imply that
This is not an active effect. It is a thing that has had happened to them. And
Yeah, he is showing some level of either mind alteration or mind wipe, whether that be pharmacological, extraterrestrial, like occult.
you'll ever watch Source Code?
No.
Yeah, the memory pattern recall in that is all I'm imagining the Van Halen test is.
I do like that.
Yeah. So that result we got from the pilot would imply that he is he had a mind wipe at some point within the last X number of hours, but there's not some creature that is currently picking off more than one by one.
And to clarify, this test can cover supernatural mind wipe, not just drug-induced mind wiping.
Yeah, in fact, that's actually a limitation of the test. It's unable to differentiate between.
Oh, that's
types.
rich. I like that. Do the first officer and flight engineer give the same result?
To varying degrees, yes.
Can I ask each of them separately how many passengers they remember getting on the plane?
Yes. So
Can we ask them individually away from the rest of them as well?
Yeah,
Don't confer.
where
In
what,
the
you
hold.
take them
We
to the
bring them to the hold. Yeah, bring them to the hold, one at a time. Particularly the one who signed off the manifest.
So when you take them into the hold, they will tell you that there were a total of 63 souls on board, including aircrew.
Different to what the stewardess said.
Yes,
And each of them says that there were 63.
correct.
How many does the manifest say? 64?
63.
63.
It matches the manifest perfectly.
But the stewardess.
The stewardess said 33 or something.
She said about 30 passengers plus.
Plus
Plus
the crew
yeah.
would be another 9 or something, so...
Yeah. So if you're asking them how many passengers there are, they will tell you 54, which is
accurate to what the
manifest says.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna pin one. We've got to start pinning one of these guys down because their own logical inconsistencies are starting to get a bit weird. So you said that there were 60 souls on board, right?
Where are you asking them? Sorry.
In the hold, and
In
the
the hold.
one who definitely did all the checking was like, this is
Cool.
your handwriting, right?
Yeah, so that'll be the co-pilot at this stage. So yeah.
Right.
I signed off. So we had 54 passengers.
Yeah, so you. But how many people did you check into the plane?
Well, I didn't check anybody into the plane. It was the purser and the stewardess team check.
All right.
It's
and they were the ones who said that there were fewer.
All right,
sorry.
let's. Okay, right.
I
So
think it was Eddie that did all the checks, and then
Alright.
they handed me, and
can
I
you
signed off.
can you have Eddie come down and we'll have a chat to him.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Yes. What's going on? Are we
How-
getting off soon?
We'll get into that, but what I want to know is how many passengers did you check in? I have the manifest in my hand. Just off the top of your head, remembering like how many do you think you checked in?
Well, no, I know exactly. It was 54 people. 54
people.
passengers.
54 passengers.
Is this the one we spoke to earlier?
Yes.
I think it's
Some fuckery is afoot here.
so there are some possibilities that have popped into my head. One,
Hold on a minute.
I think we need to get a second person in here and ask them when they're in earshot of each other, see if that changes it, to narrow down if it's a case of other people being nearby, or ask them in a different location to see if it's location based that's causing them to change their answers.
All right. Come with me for a second. I'm just. It's a bit stuffy down in here in the
Sure
in
thing,
the hold. So I go upstairs. Now I'm sorry. I'm terrible with memory. How many passengers did you say you checked in? Now that
There
we're
were 33 passengers.
Right. That's fine. Go. You can go. It's all right. I'm gonna go back down and confer with my colleagues. You can ask him whatever you like at this point, because I have had an amount of fuckery that is higher than my quota for today.
My bollocks quota is full.
I just go down and I'm like, that's I don't know what's happening. the one number down here, different number up there.
Okay, I'm gonna get out all my.
Simon's up there.
I'm gonna get out all of my meters, and I'm just gonna read to see if there is any difference in anything in between the cabin area and the hold area. You know, Gauss meter, one place, second
are they
place.
portable enough that we can just walk with them and just see if there's a sudden change at some point when we hit a threshold.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. How conspicuous are you being?
I would
when we-
recommend trying to be quite conspicuous.
Quite inconspicuous or conspicuous?
Subtle.
Subtle. Okay, yeah. Inconspicuous. So that will require.
And I was going to say that that this stuff looks like it would not be out of place on the set of the first Ghostbusters film. So it looks kind of retro, but it still looks futuristic to the 1950s.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not retro enough.
No.
So that is going to be a Dex stealth roll, please.
Kiducky. Okay.
Yeah, just Chip or everyone.
Whoever's using the equipment.
We not just because the entrance of the hole is at the rear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
based
so-
on
so
the map, there is a
if-
toilet section. We just close the curtain.
If you're doing that, then you don't need to roll. Sorry, I thought you were doing it all the way along the aircraft.
Oh no! Just at this point, just into the. They're all set
On
to the front of the
feet that he
aircraft,
said
aren't
the smaller number.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yes, they've all moved towards the front of the aircraft.
they? Does the hold run along underneath all of their feet?
It does, yes.
Ooh. Tunnel up from underneath.
So first of all, I'm going to walk the length of the plane in the hold with the
Yep.
meters.
Okay. They are showing levels that you saw when you were at the terminal. So they are lower than when you first than the device that
Entered
you
the plane,
can't
but that could be
physical
the
way.
air equalizing.
So
So the entire length of the plane has no noticeable changes in any meter readings.
there is slight disturbances when you go over the baggage. Again, a very, very minor increase, as if something residual remains but is incredibly weak.
Mhm.
You barely notice. If you're going the retro, you barely notice the needle move at all.
Okay, so yeah, within acceptable limits.
Yes.
Now, the more interesting thing will be when I go back up into the cabin, and we the purser was asked that question about the numbers again immediately outside the hold door, I believe.
I thought you took him to the rest of the. You took him back to his original position, which would have been near the front of the aircraft. But I will tell you, as you exit the hold, the needles. So once you're back onto the bit with the passengers, the needles then rise again, not to dangerous levels, but there is a notable increase.
In which of the various meters?
So a slight increase to the Gauss meter, a more notable increase to the EMF meter.
And it wasn't.
Geiger counter.
There wasn't any
The Geiger
point where
counter,
where the needle goes up a lot and then back down to normal, like a shell.
Not that you can see. You're behind the curtain though, so definitely once you've moved up to this next section, you can see it rise slightly. But it's not like a sudden spike when you're over something.
Okay. All right. I think we need to go further into the cabin. Lucas, you're quite intimidating and you scare me a bit. Would you mind?
Thank you.
Would you mind just being a human shield to their eyes. I can't think of a better way to put that.
You want me to what? Block him in front of you and
Just hide me holding this thing, because I think it would probably freak them out a little bit.
sure, yeah. Could I? What would be illegal? What would be illegal in 1959 that we would have on us? Oh god no. Is there something like I can produce and say, right, whose is this? This has been discovered on board, that kind of thing.
Legal in 1959.
Well, I mean,
Cuban cigars, uranium.
Cuban cigars is a good one.
oh yeah.
Is there? Can I get the pilot's bag from the cockpit that none of the crew would have seen,
Sure.
and then secrete it about my person, and then go up to the front and basically say, right, whose is this? We've had contraband discovered.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And,
Okay, sure thing.
Yeah.
Can I have either a presence or manipulation, and I think it's expression or no, intimidation at this stage. Presence
you.
or manipulation, and then intimidation.
This is tried to add my dexterity, manipulation, stealth, and intimidation together, and I know that isn't right.
That would be too many dice.
That would be, as you say, too many dice. Gonna call that a 3.
Okay. Right. Chip, can you roll for stealth, please?
Okay, do I get any bonuses to this?
You currently have 3 successes.
Oh,
stealth.
okay. That's
Nice.
That's good, because I'm only rolling 2 dice. Oh, okay.
3 dice.
3 dice. It's only got 1 success, but
That's still
So
4
that's a-
total.
That's still 4 total.
Mhm.
So,
Intimidation is the one thing I can do. Who could have thought police brutality being used for good?
so Simon and Riddle, can I have perception checks from you, please?
Sure.
Oh, that's the secret one, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, that's the one.
Sorry, there were so many exploding dice there. Okay, so Simon and Riddle, the performance has gone well, but you notice that not every passenger is paying attention to Lucas. A couple are still interested in what Chip is doing. You have spotted it early enough that you can warn him to stop before they actively see what he does, or you can just let it pass and see what happens.
Instead-
there are
instead
about
of war-
5 passengers.
Oh, okay. Instead of warning Chip, can I, like, as soon as I see them not paying attention, can I like, click my finger and say, "Hey, pay attention! This is a serious incident here."
Oh, I like that. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to roll because you've already succeeded in your perception roll and spotting it before it happens. So, okay, cool. So, Chip is able to scan successfully with subterfuge. Chip and Lucas, you personally don't know if it went undetected or not, but both Simon and Riddle were paying attention and have caught anyone who might see you.
Nice.
The needle, the gauze meter, it reached its highest point as you'd come out of the hold in like the stewardess area by the loos, and then it started to drop down as you came through. The EMF meter rose as you're moving through passengers. Not high enough to get a fix on a particular point, but there is definitely a stronger active presence where the passengers are gathered than anywhere else on the aircraft.
And is it the case like by the time he's gotten to the cabin at the front, it's going back down again?
It's going back down, but it does still seem to have an effect within the cockpit, although reduced. That it is still higher than it should be.
Can we meet back up again? After
Yeah.
we get okay.
Absolutely.
So Riddle go. So like, you're getting more stuff from the passengers themselves. So we need to separate the passengers to figure out which one of them is the actual like originator.
Could do like a binary search, like split them into 2 groups and see which one is.
Yeah.
It's like that old riddle. You got a bunch of people on an island, and one of them's slightly heavier than the others, and you got a seesaw, and you got to weigh him. You got to work out how. Yeah.
There is going
Fucking
to be a point
R.I.P. Andrew
where
Brauger.
there is going to be a point where we run into trouble. So,
Look, do you want to just disembark them all into the fucking terminal? We'll take them into the immigration cells, separate them out.
it's not the best plan, but
I
Could
think
I-
the cat's gonna get out the bag eventually.
Could I maybe pull some infrared goggles out of my bag?
Sure.
Or a like a video camera with various different filters I can apply over it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just want to basically scan on what various frequencies to see if anyone is giving off odd emissions.
Ooh, if they were radioactive, the camera would be fuzzy. If they were,
Like that viral video that went around a few years ago of the guy. Yeah.
we found one, yeah.
So,
Ooh, what the fuck is that?
you can. The Geiger meter has not changed,
Right.
so there don't appear to be any change in radiation levels. But using different filters,
Electromagnetic would still show up a little bit.
yeah.
Separate them enough. Can we at least just narrow it down to like
Do
3
you
or 4
want?
of them?
So a camera naturally wouldn't do that. You'd need specialist equipment. However, if you make a crafting roll,
That is what I
You
built this
can.
character for. To be crafty.
you can basically invert what the camera is searching for, so it no longer searches on the visible spectrum.
So crafts intelligence?
Yes.
I'm going to spend a willpower as well to add 3.
You can also you can also make it extra experimental at an additional cost.
Yes.
Cool.
I was going to ask
Add-
how, and then I thought, I don't care how. Yes.
This cool.
Is this going to be
You
a
can
dice
add 3 more
penalty
dice.
or?
Nope, you add 3 more dice.
Ooh.
Did I only guess how many dice I'm rolling now?
3.
3, 5, 8, probably like 11. Huh. Well, you succeed. 16. Oh yeah, you spent a willpower as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious me.
That is.
7
Yes.
successes.
That's a nice number.
Yep.
That's a good number.
It's a number we like.
Oh, you've made me very happy with that roll.
Oh
So-
shit.
Ah, boy.
Just
Well,
that.
we're boned.
You will hear Chip just say, "Reveal your secrets to me, Zoidberg."
Zoid chip.
There is a light coating of a unknown energy that is affecting the passengers and crew. There is one passenger that does not show up at all, and there is within one of the toilets. You were almost blinded by the concentration of
Oh, he did say.
of whatever this is.
Yeah, he said that he bumped into someone on the way to the loo or something.
Somebody was in the loo when he tried to go in.
Do you tell Lucas this?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about it completely. He said when he was doing his transatlantic flight, he was trying to get into the toilet, but somebody was already in there. So there's something in the toilet. So wait, there's
Who
one
was-
passenger
Yeah.
doesn't show up at all.
Can we roll a perception to see if the person who's unaffected has clocked that we've clocked them?
Yeah, sure thing.
Oh,
Also, who is the person that's unaffected?
The person in seat 50. 50.
Seat 50.
Norman Stacy.
Norman Stacy.
Stacy.
Oh, come on, he's not even
Fake
trying.
name?
Norman just sounds like normal man.
I mean, there is a little bit of that, yeah.
No, it's Stacy Norman.
Hmm.
And as we all know, Stacy is the fakest of names.
Did I roll? I didn't roll. Cool.
Who is looking through the video camera as well?
Yo.
Just
Riddle.
you.
Well, the thing is,
Riddle
I'm
as well.
specifically shielding, so I probably don't see this yet. Otherwise, Norman Stacy would already be the artist formerly known as Norman Stacy.
Okay. So, those who are looking through the camera, after you've swept over this non-passenger, like where you get like the date and the time and all of that, that then changes. And along the top are the words, do you want to take a moonlight walk under the pier? Question mark.
Whoa!
Oh no! Oh, we need to go.
No, thank you. I specifically say no, thank you as I.
Was that like the like user interface on the camera changed to that?
Yes.
Oh fuck!
That's some neat software trick you've got there. It's not you, is it?
I'm never using this camera again.
That's fair. I'll burn it.
We just need to go.
I kind of like.
We
There's
should
this
just
look
leave.
there's look on Riddle's face, and he's like.
We just gotta go. We just gotta go.
Are you suggesting we nuke it from orbit?
Yeah.
I point to the camera. Is the thing still there?
No, I shut it.
Okay.
Okay.
Did I get anything from that perception roll in terms of him, of either of us clocking each other?
No one
our
appears
non-pass-
to have noticed. No one appears to have directly noticed. You will sense that there is a growing level of unease because you've made several passes throughout the plane now.
Yeah.
They're clocking something is happening.
And to confirm, there are only 2 toilets on the layout. So it's one of those 2 at the back. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
There's a lot of
I don't want to, but I feel like we should at least look inside the toilet.
There's a lot of people here.
Lucas,
Yeah.
that toilet in particular is giving us some very bad vibes.
I'll go look in the toilet.
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna stay at the other end of the cabin.
Where was the information on the moon appear? Where was that?
So, Can I have a can I have a perception check from you, please, Lucas?
Yes, you can. Is that composure and
That's
wit?
that's the eyeball. That's the secret role.
Yes, but if perception is made up of certain things,
Oh, wits and composure.
Wits, composure, cool. So I will roll perception, but I will be rolling with a bonus because I've got my emotional support knife out.
Of course.
Brad, you're looking for under agency projects, Dauntless Shakedown, Computer Files, Upper Lab, June event reminder. Reminder,
What
during the
date
month
is
of
it?
June, for your safety, please ignore or reject all offers to walk along the pier under the moonlight.
What
it
date
June?
in 1959 did this plane disappear?
June.
Yeah.
June 14th.
Yeah.
Of course it.
Yeah. I mean, we all knew. We just had to. Yeah.
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 There's. It's a normal toilet. You see
Is
nothing. You can see nothing of note except for almost a small hill of possessions, not personal possessions, but like eye masks, like drink cups, crisp packets, anything that might have been handed out on the flight.
Yeah.
Has kind of litters the ground in this particular toilet.
So
Okay.
stuff that possibly the disappeared passengers would have had that they didn't bring on with them, and possibly that crisp packet was missed, but should have been in here with everything else.
Yeah. My guy's really been chomping on some passengers, hasn't he?
I think it's time to go.
Yeah, I think we just outie.
What's the
we're
date
on the
today?
The date today is going to be November 2024.
2024.
No. 2024. I'm setting it slightly in the future. It's technically a year ahead of
But
I
it's
will
not
direct this
June
question-
specifically.
specifically it is not June.
Lucas, if he has been given access to agency reading materials, will have been sleeping like conservatively 3 hours a night to read as much as he can. What level of the lovely levels you gave us is the walk along the pier? What's it?
That is an exceedingly good question. Let me
Under
just
the threat category document.
Yes. I'm just going to pull that up to remind myself. Category 3.
Extreme power and aggression in response to human life. Neutralize or containment protocols allowed. Risk assessment required prior to research. Okay.
Do we have the names of anyone who we know has been confirmed to have taken that walk along the pier, or accepted the offer, or disappeared following this?
There are people who are presumed. Are you referring to agency staff?
Yes.
There are people who are presumed to have been taken. It's unconfirmed purely because no one can remember that they existed. But when you check the employment records, they were there, and yet no one's ever heard of them. And yet there's. It's almost like you've managed to recreate that person from the hole that they've left.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have if I just randomly pick one of the names of those people, Do any of them appear on this? Any of those names appear on this flight manifest?
No, none of them do.
Okay.
These are all new, quote unquote, new people.
Does that imply that the walk along the pier people who've fallen victim in the agency and the bureau, whatever it was, the American version was called, have been time displaced?
Maybe.
Either way, we should go.
We
should go.
Yes.
It is also really tempting to just point Lucas at Stacey Norman.
Oh, Lucas hasn't realised Stacey Norman is an entity yet, otherwise the gunfire would have started.
Yeah.
If you guys want to pull that trigger, no pun, well, pun a little bit intended.
I could fully
you are
picture
more-
Simon doing that when we're at the door.
I will leave that decision entirely to you.
Simon wouldn't. Simon would do that to someone he wanted to threaten or intimidate. He wouldn't do it to, hey, go randomly attack this void entity.
In terms of the person who doesn't appear on the camera, they don't appear on the camera in terms of they don't appear like at all, like their physical presence is.
No, they're not
completely gone.
distorted.
No, they're not there.
Oh,
So it's like just not a person. Like we look at with our eyes and we see them, and with the camera, it's like nope.
Correct.
But when the camera does focus over them, we get the date time readout change to the
Yes.
Moonlight question.
Yes.
Oh right. Okay, so spook person, maximum spook person.
I mean, I have to reward a 7 on any roll.
Yeah. All right.
You have intentionally, I guess, created the perfect Moonlight peer detector.
Yeah.
So
I can't burn this now, can I?
So,
Nope.
I can burn the tape.
Yeah. You shouldn't.
No, I shouldn't.
Well, the agency.
give it away give it to research.
I say tape.
So
It's a flash drive. So
I think. What's the likely agency response based on what's what does Riddle think is going to happen if we just leave and we tell the agency there's an entity on this damn thing, you need to, what do we do now? Like, what does he think the response is going to be, especially given it's a category 3?
So,
like to the people specifically, that's what he's thinking about.
So, assuming you share all of the data that you've collected, including Chip's detector,
yep.
As that will probably be a key factor in the evidence, and based on agency records, it is likely, especially given the month, that the passengers and crew will be evacuated and then attempted to be rehabilitated somehow. It is unclear what they will do, specifically with the entity, as there have been 0 recorded incidents where you have managed to identify the entity that is causing this.
This is
It's a specific incident rather than other specific incidents.
So with regards to all of the Moonlight Pier events, they don't know who or what is causing it. There are
I guess what I'm asking is they've encountered other level 3s though. So what's the typical level 3 response?
So it would go up. It would go up to. It would go to the director, because it would either be captured for study, or it would be neutralized. But it varies. So,
like from my perspective.
I will need a bureaucracy role, like how you navigate that system. I'm going to say that is going to be intelligence and probably politics. 2 seconds, because Simon, you're going to get some bonuses here.
You already have a +2 to navigate any bureaucratic system.
Yeah, yeah, go for it. So yeah, because it's your own system, I'm going to award an additional one. So
Ooh.
it'll be a total of +3 to that roll.
Riddle knows too. Riddle's probably hacked the correct SOPs that say exactly what to do in these situations. He's mostly concerned with like the civilians, like what happens to them.
The civilians will almost definitely be evacuated.
So they'll be saved. Okay.
They will probably be placed in quarantine. Now that there's a detector, they will see if the particles that have gathered on them will slowly dissipate if they're distanced from this thing. Assuming they are, then they will probably be fed a story, or given a memory, and then released back out into the general populace.
What a unique opportunity for study we have.
Yes.
So,
Whereas this entity probably, given the month and the damage it has done to the agency, it will probably be contained until May time, and then will probably be killed.
You volunteering?
So before we leave the plane, though, I think Riddle will say to you, sorry, I forgot your name, Ryan.
Chip.
Chip, can you turn that camera on myself and you yourself? So, boop. Do we glow?
Who is looking at the camera when you do this?
So Riddle will look at the camera to see Chip, and Chip will look at the camera to see Riddle.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Well, okay, I think only one of us would go. It would only happen to one of us. So I think, well, one at a time anyway. So assuming something bad happens, then we won't do it the other way around. And I think Chip is going to be the one looking at the camera, pointing it at Riddle first.
Cool.
Okay.
And I need to roll a third character, don't I?
Oh.
Okay, and that is what you see.
Was that privately messaged?
Yeah.
Correct. Of course it is.
There's a worried face on Ryan, and I don't like it.
No, that was my I can't find it face. I found it now.
Okay.
Who's
Well.
next? If anyone at all.
Well,
Actually,
Can I get my phone out and... So, was it only this detector, or is it all cameras?
It's only this
It's
detector.
only that camera.
Oh.
well, I think actually, yeah, I've got a rotating screen. I can probably point it at myself and look at it for myself.
Time.
What did you see with me? Come.
Oh no, don't worry, no particles on you at all.
Do I believe you? I don't believe you.
Yeah, do I? Yeah.
Brad doesn't believe you.
No, look, see, and flip it round, point it at you with the screen facing at you.
Okay. Oh.
And I'll allow Mike to say. Oh, I'll allow.
So do you flip it round so that Riddle can see himself?
Yes.
Yeah, there are no particles.
Okay.
On yourself.
Are there on anybody
Yeah.
else?
I'll
Yeah.
scan it. I'll scan
We'll
everyone else.
Look into
Yep.
the...
And is that done openly?
So I'll flip it around so everyone can see themselves.
If you're doing this such that we can voice each other, Simon will absolutely see everyone else as well.
Yeah. I'm
There's-
not so much
there's-
interested in... Oh, sorry, please, carry on.
There is no scenario in which Simon will let Chip be the only one who knows.
So,
It can either be privately to Simon or publicly, but either way, Simon is going to know.
right. So, yeah. Message me if you actively try to keep this secret. Otherwise, it will be kept because as he scans round, hold on, just checking.
I mean, of course, Simon will try and keep his own secret, but
I think Riddle is still doubting Chip as well, and being like, the initial reaction was a bit strange.
The reaction of my face was I was clicking through when Mike said this is what you see. I was closing windows in not Discord, in
that is
Foundry, because I was going, where is it? What am I looking for? That was the concern.
Okay.
You see, I was in the loo when this all went off. In the reflected screen, do I see a being made of glowing energy who isn't there in the screen? Because that would be the first Lucas learns of this.
Oh, because if imagine because I imagine we're doing this in the hold, not up in the thing, because that's like a camera.
Question, yeah.
I assume we're doing this
by the door,
behind the curtain.
Oh yes,
door.
yeah. So there's no passengers behind it.
So we don't. I don't spot the. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna spot the void entity. What color did you say it was, Mike?
Nothing.
Oh yeah, it's nothing. Well, no, I've got.
So the particles that have gathered on everyone else are kind of like a purpley, like a dark purple in nature, like color. Sorry, and then so when you're looking at Riddle, you say nothing. Like you say, there's nothing there. You flip it round, and there is indeed there's no particles there. You can still see the outline of a person just like everybody else.
Right.
And so as it scrolls round, is anyone actively attempting to hide? So Simon and Lucas, see you hiding from?
No, I want to get scanned.
Yeah. Okay. Lucas, yeah, no residual particles on you, and Simon, no residual particles on yourself.
So is that true for all four of us now?
You have seen, you've seen it on 3 people so far, because it's done.
And who is the last?
Chip.
Chip.
Oh, Brian, what have you done?
Right. Well, we've all shown. Can we see you as
what
well?
does Chip?
Here, give me the camera.
Okay, I give you the camera.
I give him the camera and I turn it towards Chip.
There are no purple particles. You think you might have seen a white particle for a second, but that could have been the camera.
He's done some weird shit to it.
Thing. Yeah.
Looks like we're all clean. We can get the off of this place.
The text remains the same for everyone as well, right?
Say again, sorry?
The UI doesn't change. We don't get any more walking.
You do not get any more. No. It goes back to the
date time readout, which is the accurate date time.
Yep. Assuming you've set it to the if you've set it to a random date, then it will display whatever that is. But
no, I'd set it to be the correct date time, and then if I check it against my watch, is it still accurate down to the second, or was there a little bit of a time jump after it started talking about the moonlight bit?
No, it went back to the normal time.
Right, let's get off the
Let's
plane.
get out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get off the plane. We'll tell the pilot they're going to be evacuating, and then they'll all be put in quarantine, and everything will be fine.
Do it.
Right. So go up to the pilot.
Cool. What's the plan?
Look, you'll be evacuating the plane shortly, and everything will be moved off, and you'll be put in quarantine and all of that good stuff, and then you'll be able to go about your lives from then on forward.
Quarantine? Is somebody sick?
We're just precautions, polio and all that stuff. You guys.
If you're from a different time era, there'll be pathogens, sicknesses inside you that you have resistance to and we won't, and vice versa.
Yeah.
COVID's
Okay.
gonna hit you like a fucking truck, mate.
Oh yeah, shouldn't have told him that. Should have been a little. But oh wait, he's not. He'll take a vaccine. You've had your polio vaccine, right?
Yeah, before all these dumb fucks started pissing
Yeah,
shit up in the 2010s.
Yeah, I'm not worried about viruses. It's the Soviets I'm worried about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Must-
actually, you might want to hold on to that one.
Yeah, as I said
that
that out
was
loud,
fair.
I was about to say, oh, the Cold War is over, and then I was like,
well, yeah. What
yeah.
somebody
I've
will
got
fill
good
you in.
news and bad news about both the Germanys.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
My
Very well.
question, Mike, would be: if we leave the plane and do the whole evacuation now, will they be bringing in some kind of tactical squad to capture the entity later on?
Oh, but when you relay what it is that you have found,
Yeah.
you have
Yep.
never seen so many agency individuals in your
They're
life.
pissed.
I wish to be on the tactical squad going in to capture it. If Lucas can, he would request to be so.
Yeah, I think that you've managed to do what no one else has ever done before. So if you want to be on the team that then brings it in, that's if you want a demotion, a temporary one, then yeah.
Well,
Fine.
it's not even that. I want to see what happens. I don't think Lucas trusts what they're going to do with it. He wants to be there to see it firsthand. So even if it is just like going and like putting a guy in handcuffs who isn't really there, like I don't want that. Well, Lucas wouldn't want that to be left to agency staff who are otherwise corruptible.
Gotcha. So when they storm the plane, Norman's just sat there, just nonplussed by everyone who's there. And are you wearing anything that covers your face? Is it like a tactical mask type thing? Yeah.
Presumably, yeah.
So out of everyone, he will look straight at you. It's as if he can see straight through you, and he goes, "You can do what you want. It is not my month, and I have had my fill. But if you think that I am gone, you will sorely mistaken. One of you has already opened the door, and we will meet again very soon."
And then does he revert back to being nonplussed and confused?
And then at that point, he then falls unconscious. And they erect. So you had in the Scorpion Holdings one those portable
Holding cells.
Holding cells. They have got something similar that he is then carted off in.
Does he show up on camera after
using the
he falls
detector?
unconscious?
Using the detector.
Yeah.
Or yes.
He shows up.
He shows up.
when he
He's
didn't
not-
before.
Correct.
It's already escaped.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael.
Shit.
How many entities are we aware of? About 12 of them, maybe?
Actual encounters 3. 3 direct encounters. This is the
Yeah.
third one.
Yeah. Because we met Desolation.
What month was Desolation? Was that November? October? September?
That's a great point. What was the date of the Pleasantville thing?
Pleasantville, I think, was back in August.
Riddle, we need to get you to research other things that have happened on the same day or within the same month and run like a Boolean keyword search.
Yeah.
I will have a little.
What's the
I've
third
got-
one we met?
Say again, sorry.
That's
There's
2.
an-
What was the third
So-
one?
there was an entity that pulled us into the Desolation's like in between place that we've kind of met.
Oh yeah, the thing that was like a kind of counteracting or something.
Runs Horizon.
Yeah. Has it come back? There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
It was like a rival entity to Desolation or something.
Yeah, there's a really strange one that kind of tried to help us beat Desolation because the Desolation didn't want us there.
Hey, the hunt wants to disrupt the stranger's ritual. What can you say?
True.
There's no connection. Don't dig too deep down that rabbit hole.
Perfect.
The one last thing that you will hear as he's, because the containment cell's then loaded into the van, and as the van doors open, you see Norman regain consciousness, and he goes, "What's going on? Have we arrived in England yet?" And the doors will close, and he is carted off. And it is in a very different voice than the one that spoke to you.
Mm-hmm.
I will have absolutely had body cam on at that moment. All through that raid, actually.
Yeah.
And I will show that directly to Simon, Riddle, and Chip. Because this is the squad right here.
Okay, so this entity was that guy an avatar of the pier? I don't know what that one's called.
Have we been
You've
been given some document?
So that is
No, not passengers.
so
that's not-
once again within the OSC archives, it's
Archives,
next
Void
to the-
Entities, OSC, yeah.
Oh, it's in Discord.
Cleansing, corruption, desolation, peace, preservation, war, web. None of those sound right. But then if we don't know
Cleansing?
anything about it, it wouldn't need to.
Cleansing, maybe? Actually?
Cleansing? Oh, what? For the desolation? Or whatever is in
no.
Norman?
Whatever's in
Norman.
Cleaning up the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
No.
Oh. I'm
Or
gonna fucking
preservation,
file
'cause it
you
could be-
away.
Preservation, because it could be pulling them into somewhere and just leaving them there. Like, maybe this thing got caught in the aircraft. It just happened to be there. It's not like the two incidents, the plane disappearing and the entity being there are
Aren't
unrelated.
necessarily the same thing.
Yeah, because like in the email they went around, they weren't warning of like time manipulation there. It was just hey, watch out for this strange sentence structure.
Yeah.
But the people who have disappeared still disappeared in the same way that the passengers did on the plane. Oh no,
Yeah.
yeah, that's still not related to the
The whole plane disappearing is weird.
the plane time jump and the people disappearing. Yeah,
Are different.
Could it
well,
be
it could
that
be different.
He was cleaning up after himself.
Oh, what the-
I was gonna say maybe something else, tried to lock it away, but then we had the various incidents earlier this year, didn't we? In that
Well, the
desolated.
Bureau in America got hit real bad by the pier thing.
And that was before this thing reappeared, so that's.
Maybe there's more than one of them?
These
I
are
was
just
thinking maybe they were
advertising.
interfering. Yeah.
Or it's the same one, but it doesn't exist in linear time.
Oh. Fantastic.
I don't fucking know.
But at that point, I think I will stop the recording.
I do have one note, Mike.
Oh, yes.
Lucas has had a very frustrating day.
Would he like to vent said frustration?
So I think what he does is very coldly and clinically goes and performs some preparatory crimes. So he doesn't go and kill anyone, but he does go and like steal a tie from a high-ranking target's office that he can later hang him with, etc.
Okay. Sure thing.
Because this also takes place before the trip to Talam, right? Or alternatively,
Yes.
so we know you kill people at the end of that episode.
Yes. So this is going to be this many dice
Oh my god.
because I'm using all my willpower as well. 6 successes. So yeah, the method by which I got rid of the guy at the end of the Talam trip, or the alternate Talam trip, I set up at this point. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you don't kill anyone extra. This is in anticipation of the Talam.
Yeah, this is all the prep work for the so Riddle gave me that like cash at the end of the I've used it to at this point to like hire a garage somewhere, and it's full like red string murder board, list of targets, etc. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Lovely. Yeah, no, cool. That's what will probably happen from a timeline point of view is you will return back to the agency. There'll be a brief period. The cube adventure will occur, and then the timeline has then sorted itself out.
Sweet.
So,
Very nice.
Oh, very good, Mike.
cool.
Yeah,
Thank you
Chip will
very
go back to his workshop and just see about trying to well, first of all, giving an inspection of his new entity detector to check to make sure that it's not been corrupted.
So I will need. Is it digital or analog? Like, does it take tapes, or is it a digital memory?
It's a digital memory.
Okay. The memory is full.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take that card out and give it to the agency.
Okay. Sure thing.
Oh no, I'm not, am I?
They're going to take your camera. No, not going to accept just the memory card. They're going to take that whole device.
Have you got the schematics for it to build another one?
Yeah, I'm going to I'm going to actually look at the footage I've recorded
Sure thing.
in private.
Sure thing.
And then I'm going to see if I can figure out how to recreate this detector for when they take it away from me.
Are you happy if I reveal what's on the footage publicly?
Apart from one notable exception, I suspect.
Okay. So
You don't have to reveal it to Lucas, even if you do reveal it to Joe.
so as you begin playing, it's of the aircraft, and someone comes out of the bathroom, and she looks at where the camera is, and she goes, "Oh, hello. Who are you? Hello? Hi, excuse me. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Sorry. Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Oh shit.
My name's Vivian Eastwood.
Oh, that's worse.
Sorry, where's everybody gone? See, where? I don't know where I am. I was going to England, and now I'm on an empty plane.
What's the last thing you remember?
Oh, someone asked if I wanted to go somewhere. It sounded lovely, and now I'm here. Where is this place?
Ask her what she can see out the windows of the plane.
Oh, you bastard, Joe.
Plug your ears before the screaming starts.
Okay, God, okay, before I answer anything, I just want you to know that I'm going to do my utmost best to help you.
Help me? Am I in danger?
I don't know.
That's very odd.
Yes, What can you see out of the windows?
Oh, nothing. Just the moonlight.
Can she see the ground?
Can you see the ground?
Or even clouds?
Can you see the
No,
moon
there's-
itself, or is it just the light?
Well, I assume it's the light from the moon, but I can't even see the moon. But it's, you know, that glow at night when the moon comes down, and it's a
Yeah.
particular light. That's all I can see.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm feeling tired. I'm just gonna have a lie down, but
I am going to hit the pause button.
yeah. And yeah, it will. Even though you think you paused it in frame, it will be a black image, but it's as if it's been backlit by some kind of light.
But when I hit pause, she doesn't go to lie down anymore?
She doesn't go. She disappears from the camera. It's just a black screen, but it's like a bright black, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's on a monitor. It's black screen, but it's quite bright. The backlight's quite bright.
Okay, if I rewind it to the start.
Yeah.
And press play.
The toilet door will open, and someone else will walk out.
Yeah.
And I go, hello, sorry,
Pause it.
I'm
You're using them up, Ryan.
I take
Stop using them up.
and I take that out, and I just look at it and go.
There is one notable thing about the SD card. It has a manufacture date, June 1959.
Oh fuck.
The SD card from Chip's device.
Yep.
Has the manufacture date of June.
June 1959.
Correct.
Before SD cards existed, yeah.
Correct.
Oh.
You could have sworn that it said Samsung on it earlier.
And now it says.
June 1959.
Oh, so it doesn't now say, "Would you like to go for a walk on the pier
no,
in the
it does
moonlight?"
not. No.
Oh, Michael. You see, before, if you'd asked me for adjectives for this, I would have said exciting and cool and fun. Now this is gut-wrenchingly fucking horrifying.
I wanted to do one thing as Riddle.
Sure.
Plant
Please,
a fucking.
continue.
I want to plant a fucking tracking device on Chip.
Sure.
You'll have the opportunity because as soon as Chip sees that, Chip is going to send Riddle a message that's just like, I need your help with something.
So like Riddle's already got the tracking device. He's like, how do I get it under his skin? I need to speak to.
Bing!
Oh. Well.
Here is my lab. Let yourself in.
Right. What happened? Why are you calling me? Oh, people only call me when they have IT support, and I'm not IT support. I'm not fixing your Windows laptop.
No, it's fine. I can do that myself.
Fix your specifically Windows.
Yeah. Fuck Mac.
Linux, though.
Linux you'll install.
I'll install Linux. That's what I do every time somebody asks me for a Windows problem. Then they stop asking me for Windows problems.
Also, if I like make a drone, do you reckon you could like code some software for it?
Yeah, probably.
Cool. Anyway,
Sure.
that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Have a look at this SD card. Look at the manufacturing date.
June 1959.
Yeah, fuck it. Sure.
When I hit play,
Look.
I saw
Uh-huh.
and got to talk to Vivian Eastwood from the
Right.
plane.
The one who disappeared.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then when I stopped it and rewound it and pressed play again, a man appeared instead and was asking where he was, much like Vivian did. So I stopped that, and we might have managed to get digital copies of their souls. I don't know if they're ghosts or echoes or if they're their actual souls.
How many souls were on the plane?
60 total, so there's 30-ish here. Right. I have a organization that is looking into things like this. Might be able to get them out that wouldn't just stuff them in a research drawer somewhere. But I need you to do one thing for me, because remember I got the after action report from Lucas, and they did mention something about one of us opening the door, so I need to implant a tracking device in your arm.
I just look to the left and I see Barney Gumble just hook it into my veins on the left, going because of where I am in the OSC archives.
Very well.
I mean, if you think you need to, you sure it's necessary?
Well, looks at the SD card. I mean, at this point, I'm not taking very many chances.
Okay, now... Can I tell you something in strictest confidence?
Sure.
And
You
you're
did
not
say something.
you're not going to tell the rest of the agency or the other two.
Well, it depends on what it is, but probably not, no. And for my own safety, generally, I tend to keep a lot of this stuff to myself.
I had an encounter when I was a bit younger. I mean, not too much younger, but I basically look like I do now, so it wasn't that long ago. And I found this big, horrifying monstrosity made of a lot of organs harvested from couples. It's horrifying.
Specific, okay, all right.
And
all right.
I got impaled. But
You look good.
I think whatever was keeping it trapped there, which I accidentally broke, I think that saved me.
What do you mean saved you? Saved you what?
I'm gonna grab the detector.
Yeah,
I'm gonna point it at myself.
right. I already saw this. You nothing.
And Mike, if I'm no longer hiding, what can Brad see?
You can see there is a collection of white particles centered around his chest.
Yeah, Lucas would have shot you.
I think I'm protected.
No, Lucas would have shot you in the face.
Oh, yeah. No, I've read his file.
No, you don't have to read his file. He would shoot you in the face.
I've also listened to the chat thing.
Well,
I've heard some of the audio recordings, like when you tried to say that there were some good ones, and he went off on one. This is why I'm telling you this.
yeah, but I actually haven't proved that there are any good ones.
Something saved me.
I have my mind open.
I'm pretty sure not the thing that stabbed me. With a fist made of a rib cage.
Are the particles in a particular spot on Chip, or are they just around him?
They're in a particular spot. Well, they're centered around his chest.
You weren't stabbed like
Front and
here-ish.
center. Well, actually, a little bit off.
So maybe rather than protected, you're marked.
This one's mine.
So I wouldn't, go saying I'm a safe, protected boy.
You know what okay, I mean, I think I'm protected from the others to a certain extent. That's why I think I'm not necessarily too much of a danger regarding the purple one.
Oh, I see. You're classifying them based on colors and... Oh, right.
We don't know the name of that one. I could just call it the peer one.
Yeah. All right. I'm still going to put the tracker in you.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I put the tracker in him. Subdermal underneath his forearm or something like that. Somewhere that is non-invasive.
Okay, sure thing.
Um,
How does the tracker work?
It works a lot like an Apple AirTag. So anytime
Is that because
it
it is an Apple AirTag?
No, I didn't put an Apple AirTag.
Just
in
with
you,
the
because
casing popped off.
Yeah.
That's unsecure. No.
Yeah, when I'm looking at it, I
airdrop a picture of a cat in a clown costume to fucking
to
Chip's
your
tracking
retinas.
device. It's a microchip.
No, it is similar to the design, but it piggybacks off of any device, not just an Apple device, and it will let me know his location as long as he's near something that has some kind of GPS. Other than that, he will just go, right. I can take the SD card. I have an organization I set up with Chet's money that might be able to look into this, or you can give it to the agency and maybe they'll be able to do something. They did save all those other passengers as far as I'm aware, but this might be a little beyond them, and they're not willing to entertain the ideas that the entities might be good. And don't tell Lucas.
Oh,
There's a whole list of things you do not tell Lucas. Do you want the list? I'll give it to you here.
Thanks. That's so. Wow, you had this prepared already.
I keep it on.
I have several printed copies.
Well, it's laminated. Isn't that a bit premature?
Yeah, because it needs to be splash proof.
Just Lucas has had something happen to him that was very bad, and I understand the reasons for why he does the things he does.
Have you has Riddle researched, hacked into Lucas's history personnel file?
He's scared of doing it.
He
knows he could, but he's like, that's a door I don't want to open. Don't hack into your friend's shit. Is part of it.
If Riddle ever decides to do it, drop me a text and I'll send you the backstory I sent to Mike.
Oh God, it's gonna be.
It's formatted like a police report.
Oh, of course it is.
I've seen it because Joe was too excited not to share it.
Yeah, obviously.
That's fair. It's up to you what you do with this card. This memory stick of souls. I would do something with it. Either part of me says release them, burn it, let their souls rest. Part of me says maybe try to save them. But it's your choice.
I'd love to try to save them, and I was hoping that you might have an idea on that. but
I have a research organization that's looking into this kind of stuff, but they've not gotten very far.
cool. I'll hold on to the card, and if you could get that organization to start looking into it, it might give us something we can use.
I'll have them start looking into it.
Cool.
Yeah. That's
Very
that.
nice. Lovely. Okay. In that case, I will pause recording at this point instead.
Michael.
And it was going so
Oh,
well.